Welcome back to Mana Central. I'm Sam.
And I'm Kenny. This week we have another deck tech for you. It's a mono green ramp deck that placed first at the Star City Games Premier IQ. It was Joshua Dickerson who made it to first place.
Absolutely. Kenny will be taking you through it, so I'll leave you to it.
All right. Alright, so we're kicking this deck off with 26 lands. 26! 14 of which are basic forests, because we have spells later that are going to come into play, and they're going to help us search for those lands up to, 3 at a time. With that, we have Foundry of the Consuls. That's a pretty sweet colorless mana ramp. Going to get you some Thopters out onto the battlefield as well. Really helpful in a time of need. We've got Sanctum of Ugin, which is awesome for colorless ramp, and getting an Eldrazi out onto the battlefield pretty dang quickly after getting one out already. And then we have some Shrine of the Forsaken Gods. Let's talk about that for a second. I never expected to see this card get any play. I really didn't. But apparently in this deck, it worked, and it worked well, because, colorless ramp, but then a little bit more colorless ramp once you have the criteria. And I'll give it to it. At least it's seeing play. Alright, so I want to talk about the creatures in this deck. There are 14 creatures in this deck, 4 of which are Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. Mr. Dickerson obviously had an endgame in mind here because he's playing 4 Ulamogs. Let's just exile the crap out of our opponent's deck, why don't we? That's awesome. Then we've got 4 Rattleclaw Mystics. Great for mana ramp. I've loved that card since Cons, and it's just awesome for the morph and flip and mana. Just fantastic. We've got 4 Hangarback Walkers. The 4 Hangarback Walkers are awesome because you build it up and then you end up with a bunch of Thopters, and it's a great staple in Standard right now. I mean, it just does wonderful things. And then we have Den Protector. Den Protector is pretty great because it has conditional blocking. If it's, up against your opponents and they have less power, bummer. And then the Graveyard Recursion is just fantastic. You can't go wrong with that. And a little Megamorph doesn't hurt. It's nice. So we have 16 spells in this deck. Of those 16 spells, 4 are Explosive Vegetation. So great mana ramp, real quick, pull in some basic forests like we were talking about earlier. We have 4 of Nissa's Renewal, again, pulling in those basic lands, as well as gaining 7 life. Just never hurts to have a little bit of life gain. We have 4 Hedron Archives, which is awesome for the quick colorless mana ramp, but also great in case of a need for, drawing some cards. Then we have 3 Nissa's Pilgrimage, again, basic land draw, try and get those lands out as quickly as you can. And then finally we have a From Beyond, which is just a nice added bonus for getting some Eldrazi in your hand quickly and taking it away. And then we have 4 Ugin, the Spirit Dragons. Just 4. No big deal. Do I have to talk about him? Because, I think everybody knows what he does. This guy, right here. Now we're going to talk about Sideboard. We've got 1 extra Den Protector. Can't have enough of those. 2 Gaia's Revenge, because it's really nice to be able to tell every other color to just shove it. We've got 1 Whisperwood Elemental. 4 Jaddi Offshoots. The Jaddi Offshoots are great because they're defenders for super cheap with a landfall for life gain, and I think that's just wonderful. We have 1 Retreat to Kazandu, 4 Winds of Qal Sisma, and then just for some extra protection against flying, 2 Windstorms. Solid. Now that you know what's in the deck, let's talk about how it works. The idea behind a mono green ramp deck is to build up your land base as quickly as possible so that you can cast those really big creatures like Ulamog and Ugin. And so we have other cards in there that are going to help us get there, get our way to an Ulamog or an Ugin, but then between the 2 of them, those are going to be our end game. Being able to exile your opponent's library just from attacking, it's the quickest way to end a match. Thanks for joining us here this week at Mana Central. We hope you enjoyed our deck tech on Joshua Dickerson's first place winner at the Premier IQ.
Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this, or hit that like button. Makes us feel good when you like our videos.
It really does. He's not kidding.
It really, really makes us happy.
We got excited just seeing that we had the subscribers that we do. So thank you.